Chapter 23 Secondary Weapons. Walking down Zotland Street in the hot, humid breeze, Klein's high spirits suddenly thought of something. He had only 3 pence of change left on him, and to return to Iron Cross in the stagecoach would cost 4 pence. And to take a gold pound note to give change to the other person was like taking $100 to buy a bottle of cheap mineral water before crossing himself. And it was not without other means that he could not pull the face. 3 kilometers for 3 pence and walked the rest of the way back. Klein put one hand in her pocket, slowed down, and thought of other ways. No way, he quickly dismissed the first idea. The rest of the way, just by walking, for a while, with 12 pounds of huge money in the case, too unsafe. And before I worried that the revolver was confiscated by the night watchman, I deliberately did not bring it with me today. And I really encountered the danger caused by Welch's death, and I will have no resistance. Get change from a nearby bank. No, 5 per thousand, too extravagant. Klein shook her head silently, feeling distressed just thinking about the fees she might have to pay. One by one, the options were eliminated, and Klein suddenly saw a clothing store. Yeah, the most normal way of thinking is to buy things at the right price and change them, right? Dresses, shirts, vests, pants, boots, and walking sticks are all on a budget, so buy early or late. Well, it's a lot of trouble trying on clothes, and Benson knows more about it than I do, and he's better at haggling. We can think about it when he gets back. What about a cane? Nice. There is a saying that the walking stick is the best self-defense weapon of a gentleman. Can be used as half a crowbar. A gun with a staff in one hand is a civilized way of fighting. With her thoughts swirling, Klein made up her mind, half-turned her body, and walked into the Wilkers coach shop. The layout of the clothing store was very similar to the clothing store he had passed through, with a row of formal clothes against the wall on the left, shirts, pants, vests, and ties in the center, and shoes and boots placed in glass cases on the right. What do you want, sir? A male shop assistant in a white shirt and red vest approached and asked politely. In the kingdom of Rune, because the status of the powerful and wealthy gentlemen like to wear white shirts, black vests, black pants, and black formal clothes, the color is quite monotonous. So the male servants, shop assistants, and waiters are required to be colorful to distinguish between master and servant or noble and cheap. In contrast, ladies wore dresses of various hues and ornamented magnificently, while maids could only wear black and white or white and black. In response to the male clerk's question, Klein thought for a moment. Stick, heavy, hard, the kind that can blow a man's head off. The red vest clerk gave Klein a hidden look, led him into the store, and pointed to the row of canes in the corner. Theon with the gold in it is made of wood of iron core. It is very heavy and hard. It costs 11 souls and 7 pence. Will you try it? 11 souls 7 pence. Why don't you go grab it? Wouldn't a little gold be great? Klein was taken aback by the price. He gave a slight nod of his head without a trace of emotion. All right. The red vest clerk took off the core wooden cane and carefully handed it to Klein, as if he were afraid he would break the goods. As soon as Klein took the cane, she felt heavy and tried to move it, finding it impossible to swing it smoothly. It's too heavy. Klein shook her head and exhaled. That's no excuse. Their vest clerk put back the ironwood cane and pointed to the other 3. Itis walnut, made by Mr. Hess, the most famous cane maker in Tingen, and costs 10 souls 3 pence. It was made of waterlogged wood, inlaid with silver, as hard as steel. 7 souls, 6 pence. It is made of the heart of the bay bolly tree, and it is also inlaid with silver, and it costs 7 sours and 10 pence. Klein took them one by one and tried them all, finding that they were all the right weights. Then he tapped his fingers again to get a rough idea of the stiffness of each stick. And finally, he chose the cheapest one. Let's take the waterlogged one. Klein points to the silver-encrusted staff in the red waistcoat clerk's hand. Yes, sir, please follow me over there to pay. In the future, if the stick is worn or stained, you can give it to us for treatment, free of charge. The red vest clerk leads Klein to the counter. Klein takes the opportunity to unroll the for gold pounds she is holding in her palm and take out one of the smaller two. Hello, 7 sols and 6 pence. The clerk behind the counter saluted with a smile. Klein tried to be a gentleman, but as he held out his left hand with the 1 pound note, Hess spoke. Can it be cheaper? Sir, it's all handmade, and our costs are high. The red vest clerk answered nearby, and the owner is not here. We are not qualified to help him reduce the price. The clerk behind the counter chimed in. I'm sorry, sir. All right. Klein hands over the bill and receives a black cane with a silver tip from the red waistcoat clerk. Waiting for the change gap, he took a few steps back, pulled away, and tried the brandishing effect of the deputy weapon in a small amplitude. Ooh, boo. Thewin was heavy and airy, and Klein nodded with satisfaction. He looked forward again, expecting to see the bills and coins, and was startled to see that the clerk in the red waistcoat had retreated far away, and that the man behind the counter had shrunk into a corner, close to the double-barreled shotgun hanging on the wall. The Kingdom of Ruin implements a semi-control policy on hot weapons, and if you want to have a gun, you need to apply for a full-class weapon use certificate or a hunting certificate. But no matter which one, you can't have a repeating rifle, a steam-high pressure gun, and a 6-barrel machine gun, and other arms control things. All weapons use license can buy and keep any kind of civilian firearms at will. But it is extremely troublesome to get. Even a businessman with a certain status may not pass the audit. Hunting license is relatively easy. Even rural farmers can get it. But this kind of license is limited to the use of shotguns. And there are limits on the number of people with thin assets will apply for one. To protect yourself in an emergency, like now. Klein looked at the 2 guarded shop assistants. The corners of her mouth twitched, and he chuckled. Yes, this stick is very good for swinging. I am satisfied with it. Seeing that he had no intention of attacking, the clerk behind the counter relaxed and handed out the banknotes and copper coins he had just found. Klein took a look at it and nodded when she saw to 5 sol notes, to 1 sol notes, and a 5-penny copper coin. After a pause of 2 seconds, he ignored the clerk's eyes and unfolded the 4 bills, one by one against the bright spot to confirm the security pattern and watermark. After all this, Klein put away the notes and coins, took his cane, held his bowler hat, and walked out of Wilker's like a gentleman, took the luxury of a nearby trackless stagecoach, and, after a transfer and a total cost of 6 pence, made it back to the apartment. After closing the door, he counted the 11 pounds and 12 sours 3 times before putting them in his desk drawer, and finding the pistol with a copper wheel and a wooden grip. Ding dong. 5 brass-colored bullets landed on the desk, one after the other, and Klein stuffed the silver magic bullets with intricate designs and dark emblems into the wheel, one by one. Again, he stuffed only 5, leaving room in case of accidental firing, and stored the rest in a small iron box with the 5 normal bullets he had just removed. Pah! With will closed, Klein felt much safer. He cheerfully put the revolver in his armpit pocket, fastened it firmly, and then practiced unclasping and drawing over and over again, taking a break when his arms were sore, until it was getting dark, and the sound of a tenant walking in the hallway appeared. Oomph! Klein exhaled and returned the revolver to his armpit pocket. Until then, he changed out of his suit, and waistcoat, put on his daily brown and yellow coat, and began to relax his arms. Clack, 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 footsteps approaching, keys in the keyhole, writhing sound. Melissa, with her silky black hair, pushed the door in, her nose twitching slightly. Her eyes suddenly dimmed a little as she glanced over the unlit stove. Klein, I'll cook the leftovers from last night. Benson might be back tomorrow. Melissa turned to look at her brother. With her hands in her pockets and her thighs resting on the edge of her desk, Klein smiled. No, we'll eat out. Going out to eat? Melissa asked in surprise. How about Silvercrest on Daffodil Street? I hear it's great. Klein made a suggestion. But Melissa still doesn't know what's going on. Klein smiled and said, celebrating that I got a job. You got a job? Melissa's voice grew louder. Well, but isn't the interview at Tingen University tomorrow? Another job. They also gave me an advance of 4 weeks of my salary, Klein said with a smile as she pulled the stack of bills from the drawer. Melissa's eyes widened as she looked at the gold pounds and soul. Goddess. ... What job did you find? It's... Klein paused, weighing her words. For a security company whose mission is to find, collect, and protect antiquities. They need specialist consultants on 5-year contracts for 3 a week. Was that what troubled you last night? Melissa was silent for a moment. Klein nodded. Yes, it is more respectable to be a faculty member at Tingen University, but I like this job better. It's pretty good, actually. Melissa smiled encouragingly and asked, partly confused, partly curious, how could they give you 4 whole weeks in advance? Because we need to move. We need more rooms. We need our own bathroom, Klein said, turning up her lips and spreading her hand. He felt that his smile was impeccable, short of asking surprise. Melissa startled, suddenly speaking very fast, a little flustered. Klein, we actually live pretty well. And my occasional complaint about not having my own bathroom is just a habit. Do you remember Jenny? The woman who used to live next door to us has been living in one room since her father was injured and lost his job and had to move down the street. So the family of 5 can only live in one room, sleeping 3 on the low bed and 2 on the floor. And they are trying to share the remaining space on the floor with others. Compared to her family, we're very good and lucky. Don't waste your salary on this. Besides, I love Mrs. Slim's bakery. Sister, this is not the way I expected the script to go. Klein's face glazed over.